The Golden Knights dropped Game 3 in Minnesota by the same 5-2 score that they lost in the previous game. Poor puck management, Aiden Hill was pulled, and the Wild's top line again unstoppable. Our recap comes your way next, right here on Lockdown Golden Knights.
Your Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Well, hi again, everyone. I'm Tony Cardasco. I am the longtime sportscaster, marketing consultant, host of the Believe in Vegas podcast, a programming note for me. Today from 10 to noon, I will be talking UNLV Rebel football with former head coach Harvey Hyde, 1400 AM. He is Chris Golick right there. An ACDC fan? Is that you? You an ACDC fan?
That show's this weekend, isn't it?
It's tomorrow night, Saturday
you got any
night.
tickets?
No tickets.
I love ACDC.
Oh, I kind of figured. You're a hairband guy, owner of Silver State Cards and Sports and Collectibles, and the editor of the Hockey News Collectibles, editor for the Hockey News. You are tuned in to the only daily Golden Knights podcast. Please make sure to subscribe to our Lockdown Golden Knights YouTube channel. Coming up ahead, we'll talk more about a must-win game and a preview of game number 4 and adjustments and all that. How does VGK dig out of this? And also, it is What the Friday. We are brought to you today by Gametime. Of course, you can get your NHL playoff tickets at Gametime. Download the Gametime app today. Use that promo code LOCKDOWNNHL, and you will get $20 off of your first purchase. So, as Bruce Cassidy said, 2 Minnesota goals were scored last night below the goal line. A couple of costly turnovers once again. One miscommunication between Aiden Hill and Braden McNabb. The other a steal, as Noah Hannafin thought that there was an icing call that was going to be made, despite Aiden Hill yelling out that it was waved off. So the communication definitely not there. Aiden Hill was definitely sliding into game number 3 there. And last night he had to be pulled for Akira Schmid. Where is Samsonov? How does VGK intend now moving forward to contain the Wild top line, which last night, 4 points, 17 shots on goal. If they don't get that many chances, they're not going to score goals. So how, number one, will they contain the top line? Kirill Kaprizov scoring twice on the power play, Chris.
I mean, plus minus, we can start looking at that because the Wild's top line, whenever they're scoring, they're putting the minuses for the Golden Knights here. Pietrangelo +1 last night, kind of a fluky goal, but he still found a way to score, which is obviously a good thing. Mark Stone -2, Barbashev -2. So that tells me that, and Eichel -2. So that tells me
Theodore now is a -5 for the series. He was -1.
Theodore is now a -6 for this year.
Oh, -6 for the series. My bad.
He's -6. Eichel, Stone, Braden McNabb -5. So what that's telling me is you look at what line is scoring all the goals, and power play goals don't count for or against the plus minus for either side when that happens. So that's important to point out. But that tells me that in the 5-on-5 game, you need Alex Pietrangelo and Noah Hannafin on the ice matching up more against that top line, the Kaprizov line. Everyone else has been ineffective just simply looking at the plus minus. There's a lot more to it than the plus minus. I get all that. But that might be just a simple step. Now, how do you do that? Well, on the road, it's tougher because the home team gets the last change. Cassidy had his chance to, I don't know if take advantage is the right word, but he had his chance to play that matchup game in games 1 and 2. Obviously, the Golden Knights split those games, which is what the Golden Knights are hoping happens tomorrow afternoon in Minnesota. So it's matchups, it's coaching, it's the Golden Knights not doing stupid turnovers and communicating and all the things in your open that they've been doing for the last 2 games.
VGK's top line, no more managing minutes. Well, you couldn't last night for Eichel and Stone, each playing 24 shifts. Eichel 24 minutes 44 seconds, Stone 24 minutes 23 seconds. And this is definitely not going to help to keep them fresh now as they have another game it's tomorrow, folks, and a combined 15 minutes between the two on the power play unit, 6 minutes combined on the penalty kill. Jack Eichel was definitely gassed at the end of the game. They even pointed it out on TV. And Eichel and Stone are both -2. And it's a difficult situation there because, yeah, something's not right with Eichel. Something is definitely not right with Stone. And they were managing minutes. We know that there had to be some sort of a pitch count where the first two games, what are the average, Chris? About 16 minutes apiece. And now they go for 24 each. And that might take its toll as we head into game number 4.
I did a thread yesterday kind of talking about minutes and going back to the 22-23 regular season, the Stanley Cup year. Stone and Eichel averaged 1922 and 1846. When they got to the postseason, it was 1854 and 1859. Fast forward to the current regular season, 2032 and 1915. In the playoffs, it dropped to 1653 and 1716. That's games 1 and 2, not including game 3, which obviously would skew these numbers. The noticeable drop-off for Eichel and Stone came at around March the 2nd. When you just scroll through the minutes, when you look on Hockey Reference is the best place. Look at the game logs on Hockey Reference. That's when the workloads dropped. And then now my final closing statement in that tweet was, this is where Cassidy needs to make the decision. If it's going to be fighting fire with fire, the top line against top line. Well, I think Cassidy I don't know if it was Cassidy necessarily matching the lines as much as it was just trying to find something with the best players. So Cassidy did what I had hoped he would have done, but it was somewhat ineffective. Again, I say ineffective because in a 7-goal game, this is what gets me. In a 7-goal game, the Golden Knights managed 5 high danger chances to the Minnesota. Actually, let me hit all. I got 5 on 5 here. Hold on. This might change a little bit. Okay. The high danger chances, 5 on 5, were 5-2 in favor of the Golden Knights. And then when you factor all situations, it was 8 for the Golden Knights to the 9 of the Minnesota Wild. So not a lot of high dangers coming in. Let's see, what were the shot totals last night? Wild 31, Golden Knights 32, kind of standard. So high scoring game for really what I would consider a mid-level event game, not a high event game, not a low event game. And that tells you there's some issues between the pipes, of course, with the Golden Knights too.
Yeah, I did say yesterday on the show, one of my keys was to get out to an early lead. They did not.
Same thing.
And then it just snowballs after that, and the crowd gets into it. And that crowd was so loud. And the Gus Bus was saying afterwards, he goes, late in the game, couldn't even hear anything on the ice. It was that loud.
Yeah, it's a great crowd. Credit to them. It makes for a fun environment to watch. They're ruckus. They're enjoying everything that's happening, making it difficult on the Golden Knights. The crowd's a part of the game, whether people like to admit that or not. The crowd's a part of the game, and it's tough on the Golden Knights when they have a start like that, and then the Wild just have their skate on the Golden Knights' throats from 6 minutes into the game.
I said it yesterday. VGK, and I'm going to stand by this. The Golden Knights never expected this type of constant pressure in the series. There's absolutely no way. And here is a telltale sign of effort by Minnesota. They blocked 23 Golden Knights shots. Uncharacteristically, the Golden Knights blocked 7 shots. Can you remember the last game where the Golden Knights blocked so few shots? This is part of the trademark of Bruce Cassidy. Remember? Dive in front of everything. Sell it out. Use your body. Block shots. Do whatever you can. 7 block shots for VGK. That's unacceptable.
It's not enough, but part of that is also because it was still a lower event game when you look at the high dangers. Shots on goal, 32-31, but still, you need to see more of that. The Golden Knights, Sean Burke, the goalie coach, everyone wants the players blocking shots. That's just part of the Golden Knights culture, and part of what the coaches want to see. Some of the goalies don't like it or didn't like it, might be a better way to say that. But that's how it is. And yeah, 7 block shots. I don't know what the average is for the Golden Knights on a game by game basis, but 7 doesn't feel like enough. You can block 2 or 3 shots in
Seems
a
like
single
a playoff
sequence.
low. That's got to be a playoff low.
Yeah, no,
without
that's
even looking.
certainly that felt low, but kind of just spitballing here, like it's the same problems again. Like it's giveaways, it's communication, it's I know the issue happened on the goal where Hannafin had the turnover and the icing and the blown call, but I don't care about that. So speaking of calls, you haven't seen the embellishment penalty was much more a weapon for the refs to use maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago. It really was used a lot more. And then
Right.
it kind of stopped, and then hitting Barbashev with the embellishment. I thought that was kind of odd. That's a spot where like you call one, you call both, or you call none. In that spot, you just call none. Did Barbashev dive? I don't know if he dove necessarily, but I will say that he wasn't necessarily hit as hard as he dropped almost as fast as Kaprizov did
Kaprizov.
after Nick
Yeah.
Hay cold-cocked him. So, I get it, but it's a playoff game. Like Stone knocked someone over, Barbashev, and I forget who it was on the Wild. They engaged, they both get a shot, and like let's move on and forget about it. The ref's trying to control the situation and slow it down. I get it, but it's a playoffs. You don't want to see that. You don't want to see either of those calls against the Wild player or against the Golden or against the Golden Knights.
Speaking of Barbashev, 11 of VGK's 42 hits on the night, 42-26 the edge for VGK. Kaprizov, let's talk about that goal, the dagger at the end of the second period, 2 seconds remaining. Hartman takes a look up at the clock.
I know, it was awesome.
So, again, like you need to punch him in the face when he does that, right? And again,
maybe play some defense.
You might want to play some defense. Okay, I'm just going to throw it in front of the net. Kaprizov beats Hannafin, and because Hannafin can't box out, did that go off of the body of Kaprizov?
No, got his stick. I saw I'm pretty sure in the replay.
Is that the goal that Cassidy was whining about went off somebody's stomach? Or
I think the perspective was it happens once a year or something like that. So now Cassidy's digging deep for the cliches. So I mean, yeah, what are you going to do? I mean, you look at what's happening. Like the mistakes that are being made by some very highly compensated players on the Golden Knights defense and Noah Hannafin. I keep wanting to say Pietrangelo's name, and not just because he scored a goal last night.
Oh, that
I think
was bad.
Pietrangelo, his stats dictate that Pietrangelo is not the problem, and that was one of the biggest concerns for the defense coming into the series.
The entire defense, they've not lived up to
I wouldn't know. The entire defense is rough. Nick Hague and Zach Whitecloud are supposed to be much more reliable. They're not. McNabb and Theodore, I don't know what's going on. I mean, maybe there's an injury there. Who knows? I mean, maybe, McNabb
they're not
will never
the best in
admit
the
it.
Pacific. They're the best in the Pacific Ocean because that's where you want to throw them.
Yeah, no, it's
and I've said this during the season, and everyone keeps telling me how good they are or how good they were. They weren't.
They had pockets of being really good, and their goals against were good. They were, they were okay, but maybe
bring back Martinez. He'd block 7 shots himself.
Maybe this is the Golden Knights team that we expected in the preseason.
Yeah, could be.
Maybe it is, Tony.
Hill, 17 saves on 21 shots. Pull there to start the third. 9 shots, no goals for Akira Schmid. And is anyone going to ask the coach, where's Samsonov? I mean, can someone...
Samsonov address that? So that was addressed pregame. I don't know if it was pregame 1 or pregame 2 of the series, but
who said it, Cassidy?
Cassidy addressed it, and the perspective was that Schmid is farther along right now because of the time that Samsonov missed due to injury. They are more comfortable given the fact that Schmid has not been injured. And you look at what happened in game 82. Samsonov was terrible that game. Part of that is probably game reps. Part of that's probably injury related. So I know people are saying, oh, Schmid's better than Samsonov. Well, yeah, Schmid right now is better because Samsonov's coming off and layoff and an injury and everything. But this isn't necessarily a decision based off Samsonov having that one bad game in game 82 of the regular season either.
Nearly impossible to beat Gustafsson. Cassidy said, take away the goalie's eyes and generate chances. The Gus Bus, he was unbelievable. final stretch of that game.
Yep.
He led up that leaky goal to Pietrangelo early, the bad
Deflected on the way in.
The Riley Smith shorthanded goal.
Great goal by Riley. Great goal by Riley.
But 30 saves and down the stretch. My goodness, that was
confident.
That was really good, and that might boost this team here heading into game number 4. Cassidy saying yesterday, speaking of goaltending, after the game, he said Aiden Hill needs to practice. He needs to practice today. Is that it?
Yeah, I mean, it's still Aiden Hill's net from the comments, from what I heard. Aiden, the terminology was Aiden is ahead of Schmidt as far as the net goes and everything. So I don't think you're going to see a major change. Save more of that for segment 2, but yeah, I mean, they are going to be practicing today, which I actually find kind of odd given the fact that they do have an early game on Saturday. But in the same breath, boys need it.
VGK at times falling apart. Now, you talked about the Barbashev embellishment penalty, but too many men on the ice. Cassidy said, "What? That was just the 3rd time this season we've done that." It was.
You heard that? That's hockey's coming out again too.
Oh, it's right there. That's hockey. That's coming up, man.
Nice. I didn't see that.
Oh, yeah. No. We definitely picked up on that. Coming up next, will Game 4 be a must-win situation for the VGK? We'll get to that as we return right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Did you know that your Fire TV is also an Xbox? Turn any television into your gaming and entertainment hub with Fire TV Stick 4K devices. No console required. Just grab your paired controller, subscribe or sign in with the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with EA Play included, and you are ready to play. Dive into hundreds of premium titles from EA Sports College Football 25 to Call of Duty, Black Ops 6, and Avowed, as easily as you stream your favorite TV shows. It's gaming made simple, and it's all on your Fire TV. The latest technology for elevated playing with Wi-Fi 6/6E and auto low latency mode advanced technology. Fire TV Stick 4K delivers smoother, more responsive gameplay with lightning fast speeds, and you need that to stay competitive. What I like is with the 4K streaming, you can watch more than 1.5 million movies and television episodes from your favorite subscribed services such as Netflix, Prime Video, Disney Plus, Max, and much, much more. And of course, I do not have that hardcore gaming experience, so I definitely would like to learn a little bit more. I'm a casual when it comes to that. And of course, I think it would be a great option to play Xbox on there. And again, this is something you need to check out. So head to Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to get started today. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription and compatible controller are required. Available on select devices, including Fire TV Stick 4K, 2nd generation, Fire TV Stick 4K Max, 1st and 2nd gen, and Fire TV Cube, 3rd generation. Fire TV, it's also an Xbox. So learn more at Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On. Back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights, Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. You can find us wherever you get your podcast. I went over to the Raiders draft party yesterday, Chris. That was fun. Ashton Genty, the running back, that's who they selected with the number 6 pick. And that's who the fans had wanted. So it was a blast there.
Well, all the fans get what they want.
Yeah, exactly, right? So I think that's going to help them. And now day 2, I think here on Friday, the Raiders will have the number 5 pick of the day. So they need to bolster their defense and their offensive line. They still need a wide receiver. They still need an entire team.
Put them in the CFL.
So VGK needs a win on Saturday, a must win. And if they win on Saturday, a lot goes away because then we have a tied series heading back home to the Fortress for 2 games. So this is a big, big game, obviously. It's an uphill climb, no doubt, for VGK. and their mettle will definitely be tested in this one. I was thinking where he should start. What has Cassidy done in the past when things start to go awry? He simplifies the game. I was waiting for him to say last night, we're going to come back and we will simplify things here as we head into game number 4. I'm shocked he didn't say that.
Cassidy at the moment doesn't have the answers. I didn't give the Wild much credit after their Game 2 victory over the Golden Knights. I didn't feel that Hines did many adjustments. And then when you and I were talking prior to Game 3 yesterday, it kind of clicked. Well, why did Shea Theodore have all those turnovers? Why were the Golden Knights not managing pucks well? Because of the pressure, Tony. Because of the pressure that the Wild are applying, and that's coaching right there. The Golden Knights have struggled against Eastern Conference big and heavy teams that take away time and space. What you have in the Minnesota Wild is almost a hybrid team where they are big and heavy. They are taking away the Golden Knights' time and space, especially across the neutral zone. But they also have that West Coast run and gun offense going on with that speed. So it's a very tough dynamic for Coach Cassidy to figure out right now. And this does come down to coaching. Hines has adjusted. Coach Cassidy hasn't. We got a long way to go, hopefully, in this series, but we're also looking down the barrel of a gun in which where Cassidy was out-coached mightily in the first rounds of the last 2 playoff seasons. So that's a concern right now. As far as what happens, how about we start with Keegan Colasar out and Tanner Pearson in? How about we start right there? What's Colasar done this series? The answer is absolutely nothing. He's irrelevant on the outcome of the game. He's 15 pounds less of Ryan Reeves out there skating around.
It's too physical for him. Everyone tells us what a bully he is. He's not.
No, he's nobody right now. I'll say it. He's been a nobody this series, as a lot of players have been. It's not. Trust me, the Golden Knights are not losing this series because Keegan Colasar is irrelevant on the outcome of the series thus far. Let's make sure we're clear about this. But Tanner Pearson, 12 regular season goals, 13 regular season goals, something like that. It's not necessarily a spark, but it's certainly a little bit more juice as far as the offense is concerned on a team that has not been able to score down the stretch here. Tanner Pearson, 12 goals, 15 assists, 27 points. Let's get a Tanner Pearson what's the thing when everyone signs some petition to get a Tanner Pearson
petition. Okay. Minnesota is not fooled also by that low to high power play design. They're going to have to come up with another answer. Again, Cassidy is being predictable. Cassidy
being predictable. I like that. I'll say that again. Cassidy being predictable. Go ahead.
No, for sure. And the other day, he says after game 1, this is going to be a predictable series. We know what they're going to do. They know what we're going to do. And then lo and behold, they flip the entire table here. And
John Hines, credit.
Just turns up the pressure. That's what I said yesterday. That's why I picked Minnesota. They are out coaching Cassidy and company right now. And Minnesota, Hines said something that I mentioned yesterday. He said this team has a lot of poise. Is VGK losing its poise? Are they losing their poise?
I mean, you're not seeing dumb penalties being taken after the whistles. You're not seeing the Golden Knights engaging in loser hockey as far as trying to injure someone.
On the ice,
like the Edmonton Oilers, for example, the other night. Perfect example. Oilers were down big. They started slashing and gutting everything that moved the other night. So that's good that the Golden Knights, but I mean, I don't know. Do they care? I don't know. As far as adjustments and stuff, this is tough because you're talking about simplifying the game and everything.
Am I on point there? That's
you're on point in simplifying, but what does Cassidy do as far as the lines are concerned? This isn't working. He keeps going back to the top line of Barbashev, Stone, and Eichel. It's not working. Tomas Hertl, Pavel Dorofeev. Here's a question mark all of a sudden. Dorofeev, playoff hockey. Yeah, you got the goal in game 1.
They have so much depth scoring. They don't need any more scoring. Oh, my gosh. They scored all those goals after losing all those players. But again, we have a playoff drought. This is something in VGK's DNA where they go through periods where they can't score.
Last year, I'll throw that out last year because of the injury scenarios coming into the first round. But this year, this team is Kelly McCrimmon. We are 100% fully healthy coming into the playoffs.
Right.
You're lying, McCrimmon. This is not a healthy team right
They
now.
don't look healthy. No, that top line. And I think to try to compensate for the lack of effort, not the lack of effort, the lack of play by Eichel and Stone, Barbashev goes out there and starts hitting the snot out of people to try to shake things up. 11 hits on the night last night. And so I think they're trying to do some things to try to make something happen there with that top line. And it's just not cracking. It's not wonderful pistachios.
Not cracking. Get cracking, Vegas. Oh, wrong ad. Sorry.
Yeah, it's not cracking.
Yeah, no,
Anything else?
100%. I mean, I don't got a whole lot else right now besides the
Okay.
fact that I wonder, does
What are they going to do to
Cassidy
try to contain the top line? That's question number one.
right, but you also can't forget about scoring goals and winning the hockey game too. Like that, now that's becoming a distraction. And is it time for the line blender? Barbashev down to line 4, Howden on the line 1, Nicholas Waugh, put him on a wing. But that might be something that could happen. I'll still bang the drum for Tanner Pearson drawing into this game right
That's
now.
interesting. Yeah.
Even if he gets 8-9 minutes of ice time, I think he can have an effective 8 or 9 minutes of ice time. William Karlsson been okay on the defensive side. Great pass on the Riley Smith goal, credit there, but
Right after I tweeted out that he always scores a garbage time goal. Yeah, good timing. Thank you.
Victor Olofsson, someone else put him on the milk carton as well.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I wonder how many
He's
shots.
Pretty good, but not in the VGK playoffs so far.
No, not so far. He needs to shoot like 15 times in the next game. Coming up next, it is WTF. What the Friday? I am the Prince of Darkness once again. Back with more right after this on Locked On Golden Knights. This is bizarre. Son. The Stanley Cup playoffs are here. And if you've never been to a live NHL playoff game, well, Golick's been to several. It's unlike anything else. He could tell you that. The intensity, the speed, the energy in the building, it is next level like it was last night in Minnesota. And thanks to Gametime, getting in the door is easier and more affordable than ever. Gametime is the fastest way to grab playoff tickets, even for those must-see matchups. Prices actually drop as the puck drops, as it gets closer to the start of the game, the opening faceoff. And with last-minute deals, you can save up to 60%. What we really like about Gametime, well, priority. Last-minute deals, save up to 60% off, buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. I like the all-in pricing feature. That is really good because it shows you the total cost up front. No surprise fees at checkout. The app even shows you panoramic seat views, so you know exactly what you're getting before you buy. And the Gametime ticket coverage is exceptional. I know that I am protected, whether it's a cancellation protection, job loss assurance, which is something no one really offers, or their 24-hour return guarantee. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use the promo code LOCKDOWNNHL, $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that is code LOCKDOWNNHL, $20 off. Download the Gametime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Back on this WTF edition of, we have a little bumper thing going on. WTF edition of Lockdown Golden Knights, Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick reporting.
That transition was as smooth as Sanders' draft day was yesterday.
Oof. I wonder how deep he goes today. I wonder if the Raiders will take a shot at him.
Oh, it's such a Raiders thing to do. An entitled kid who's much better than he thinks he is. Yeah, that's Raiders written all over it.
I started to feel bad for him, for sure. It was pretty sad there. And he said it cost him by not going in the first round. They said they estimated about $30 million. That's all. 30 million. Okay, so
I hope I'm in a spot in life where I can make a $30 million mistake and still come out okay.
Right. Exactly. He'll be fine. So Cassidy answered, that's hockey again. WTF right now. That's hockey. I don't like this. I don't like that response to a lot of things.
He's Pete DeBoer. He's got a Stanley Cup ring. He's cool. He's cool.
Yeah. If he loses in the first round again, it could be curtains. Okay, I'm just saying. So we talked about this again, and yesterday on TV, the mistake about the icing call or the lack of the call, the goal off Caprice's stomach he talked about. VGK wins, and it's puck luck. They lose, and oh, I can't believe the puck went off of someone's stomach. That's hockey. Cassidy needs definitely to face what is happening right now, the here and now, because his team is getting outplayed, out hustled, and right now, in the last 2 games, I would have to say that he's getting outcoached. And he is the one that felt that VGK should really just breeze through the Wild. I really think the narrative in VGK land was a sweep. I'm telling you, because so many
Every fan's
people.
narrative.
Well, that's the fans' narrative, yes, but also I'm saying, folks, that I felt that the Golden Knights going into the playoffs were a tad on the cocky side. I really did feel that way. And again, I just think if VGK goes out in the first round, a second straight year, Rick Tocchet, welcome to Vegas. He's got the house here. He's like Riley Smith. He kept his house. WTF.
I mean, as much as critical as I am about the short shelf life of coaches, I think Cassidy, if something terrible happens in the first round, I think Cassidy still has a job for the summer and into the fall, and then we'll see what happens. I think he's not going to get fired.
Well, they're going to have to find a scapegoat. They're not going to take.
No, that's fair, but I think Tony, you sound responsibility. You sound like every VGK fan jumping off the ledge right now in a series that is. I mean, theoretically, I guess it could be 60% over, or there's still over 60% of it to go, depending on how things shake out here. So I'm not going to get too ahead of myself when it comes to that yet, but I understand. What I will say, though, however, is Aiden Hill is an .825 save percentage through 2 games of the playoffs. For 3 games, his record is 1-2. He's been pulled once. And Logan Thompson, he's a .951 save percentage. He's 2-0 in the playoffs. And Logan Thompson was credited for basically stealing game 2 in favor of the Washington Capitals. So just a little WTF jab to get everyone going on this Friday morning. So people are, I have been critical with you, Tony, as far as the coaching of the series so far, as I was last year.
I'm just calling it as it is. I'm not being
critical. No. I'm with you, but okay. I'm also not going to start talking about coaches getting fired yet. That's.
I'm saying if they fail in the first round again with a team that expected to make a cup run, danger zone.
Danger zone. Yes, I agree. I do agree. Danger zone.
That's hockey.
That's hockey. But what I will say is, I think a lot of Golden Knight fans they're looking at Shea Theodore as a scapegoat. They're looking at these turnovers. They're looking at the goaltending and everything. This is everything. Coach Cassidy does have an equal, if not greater than, responsibility here. And people are like, well, Coach Cassidy, it's not Coach Cassidy's fault. Shea Theodore is a turnover machine. Well, partially it is. And this comes down to practice habits. This comes down to the coach making sure the players are on points. It comes down to the coaching staff making sure the goalies are on points. The coach is the ultimate responsibility for what's happening on the ice. Yes, the general manager puts the roster together, but at the end of the day, the coach has the responsibility for what's happening out there. So people trying to say Cassidy, this is where I will align myself with you, Tony. People saying that Cassidy, isn't doing anything wrong in this BS. He's getting out coached. Hines is doing a remarkable job in this series. Is Cassidy capable of coming back and winning the series? Of course he is, but give John Hines some credits and also acknowledge what's happening with Coach Cassidy. WTF there real quick, backup. So I got on YouTube, KFTC WTF Nate Schmitz. Nate Schmidt comes into the 24-25 Stanley Cup playoffs with 7 career playoff goals, and I don't know how many games, probably 50 or so playoff games, maybe even more. And now he's up to 10 career goals. He's got 3 goals in the first 2 games of the series. So Nate Schmidt, good to see him having a good time in South Florida. And honestly, if the Golden Knights did go out, I would love nothing more than see either Nate Schmidt lift his first cup, or of course, Logan Thompson doing his thing.
Or Max Pacioretty.
That's right. He played last night. I don't know how he did, but I know he played last night.
Yeah, I didn't check on how he played. We've got some WTFs coming in here. They're even coming in late, right before airtime. At Stars Fan Tim, WTF will Cassidy and PDB, Pete DeBoer, have another showdown in which PDB outcoaches him. Mild aren't looking so mild with playoff Boldy. WTF, this is from Jakar 3G. With all his podcasts, his marketing and broadcasting jobs, and his car chases, watching how come Tony has so much time to spend on X. WTF. That's a good one. I do spend a lot of time on X. E-runs, WTF. Kids on milk cartons are looking for Eichel and Stone. Oh, my gosh. WTF, VGK pull their heads out of their backside. Now the concern level is high. That's our buddy Joe at VGK 71610. Oh, my gosh, dude. There are so many good ones today. Okay, Winged Knight at 11 Lindbergh. Tony calling the VGK arrogant. WTF, Tony. I just said that they were too cocky coming in. I'm telling you, that's my gut feeling. And I just am honest about this stuff. Go ahead.
I know I pointed this out, but the Golden Knights are coming into Saturday's game minus 150 favorite. So the books are running back the same line. They're willing to die on that hill. And the Golden Knights are still a minus 125 series favorite locally. So again, that tells you something. The sports books basically are saying to you that the Golden Knights are not losing 2 games in a row in Minnesota. And listen, the Golden Knights might lose 2 games in a row in Minnesota. If that happens, then we start talking about what golf course we're going to see the boys on Wednesday. But go with the sports books. The sports books, they've been doing this a little while. And one thing, besides maybe the one at Circus, but most of the sports books in this town, Circa, the Caesars property, spent a lot of money, MGM, of course, Westgate, they got nice sports books. They have really nice sports books. And they didn't build those sports books because the sports books don't make money. All right, let's be clear about this here. So trust the sports books, at least for the Golden Knights, to make a series out of this. Yeah, that's it. Maybe I don't know if WTF is the word, but WTF, trust the sports books for game 4.
And WTF on the way out, if VGK does lose, if they drop game number 4, at game 5, your game time ticket prices will start in the $20 range because fans are going to bail out again like they did back in the day in the Stanley Cup final. WTF.
Last time ever to see Marc-Andre Fleury, I think they show up.
I told you I had this dream where the Minnesota Wild wrap up the series, and in the third period, they bring in Fleury. And I told you I had that dream before this even started.
It'd be great.
We appreciate everyone tuning in, especially our everydayers. Thank you so much. And thanks for all your terrific comments.
Max Patch rate 1224 -1, 1 shot on goal last night for the Leafs in a winning effort.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Of course, we'll be back again on Monday, if not sooner. You never know, right? Because VGK playing the early game tomorrow. For my man, Chris Golick, I am Tony Cardasco from Las Vegas, and we'll see you again soon right here on Locked On Golden Knights, and please take care.